Here we are. Can anyone hear Santiago de la Mancha?
Jose Maria,
How are you doing, Santi?
I'm doing great, and you?
Doing awesome, my friend.
Hello?
GM,
Can anyone hear
Quest,
Santi?
Oh
Windar,
my god.
BB, Chatix. Anyone can actually hear Santiago, bro.
I can't, bro. I've been saying. I've been trying to say,
Bro,
bro.
always this, Santi. Holy
Emperor
shit.
hears me, bro. Emperor hears me. That's all I need. Iron Alien as well.
Hello, Emperor, Iron Alien, Zemzor.
What is that, Samsor? What is that language?
That's Russian, I guess.
Solas, NTR, Falcor, Green Whopper
Greenwalker,
Leaf. GMs to everyone. GMs.
Mandalorian, my friends.
Jose, how are you doing today on this beautiful Wednesday?
Santi, bro, today is a blessed day in Star Atlas history. Do you know why, my brother in Christ?
Why?
Because today is your first year anniversary here in the company, bro. You are the iris of our
It's
Galia
crazy.
Expanse, Santi.
It's
4
crazy.
years.
Congratulations,
My
bro.
gosh.
4 years is insane. Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you.
Bro's
I would have
old.
never expected to work 4 years for the same company. I think only Star Atlas, dude. Really.
Yeah, bro. You would be your like an executive anywhere else in the world, but you stayed for love, right?
I stayed. I got addicted to the pain.
Exactly. Yeah, we all love being here, and it's a blessing. It's a blessing to be here with you for 4 years. 4 years having fun with you, Dominic. Bro, Dominic looks like a marine right now. Holy
Oh my
shit! Let's go.
gosh.
Bro,
A
look at Dominic Grain.
Marine.
I
Look
love
at
it,
Dominic
Dominic.
Grain.
Thing.
What
Yeah,
a
man.
cute fella, bro. What a
Bro,
cute guy.
special force of the Mud Empire, bro. I
Yeah.
like it,
No,
Dom.
I'm Oni, bro. What do you mean?
Are
No,
you
but you
Oni?
look like a Mud
I am
Marine.
Oni. I am Oni. Specifically
Okay,
Sogmian.
Logman.
okay, nice.
Nice. Yeah. Even though Punaps are better, but whatever you want,
Okay,
bro. Whatever you want. But yeah, I think we will have an interesting brew today. We're going to be doing State of the Community. So, as you know, this is more of a casual type of brew where we want to hear feedback from you guys on a bunch of different topics that we have prepared. So, basically, everything that Star Atlas is working on. And we want it to be interactive. We want to hear your thoughts, your feedback. We want to hear your opinions. So, we're going to get on that main topic very soon. But as always, the first thing that we like to do is some noteworthy news. And for that, we can start with the quarterly report that was released. I think it's a very, very solid report. It's very easy to read. It's getting, once you get the concepts and you start reading all of them, it gets easier. But this one is super, super easy to read and has some really decent stats, like maintaining a 2 million monthly GDP, even with the markets tanking, Atlas price even going down. There was some economic contraction, of course, because of that, but still, the Sage economy, the Stratus economy, is still very much productive. So that is a great thing to see. And we're going to be having tomorrow the Econ Forum, so you can tune in. I don't know, Dom, if you can share that link. It's going to be happening 1 hour after, 1 hour later than the normal times, because there was a conflict of scheduling. Now everybody decided to have a daylight saving. Thank you,
Bro, it's the
Europe. Thank
worst,
you,
bro. It's
United
the worst
States.
thing,
I
bro.
hate you.
Dude, we'll get into such a good rhythm, and then all of a sudden, daylight savings, bro. And it's just like everything's out of
Dude,
whack. Half the world is on another time. Terrible.
yeah.
So annoying.
Less people joined events. Now
Uh,
people need to adjust all their calendars.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
It's crazy. Bro, look at that picture.
Bro,
Bro.
blessed picture, bro. Blessed
Oh,
picture,
oh
bro.
my gosh.
You
What?
Shout
get
out to the silent hero.
bro, you get like a 10 plus luck bonus just by taking a look at this picture in the cosmic
Yeah.
currents.
And he has a bodyguard and the Eiffel Tower behind and everything. Look at that.
The
It's perfect.
bodyguard is just standing at his window menacingly. What the hell is going on?
Not
Exactly, bro.
creepy at all. Not creepy at all.
Yeah, at the 10th floor where Arthur lives. Yes.
Yeah. But shout out to Darwin. I think it's an important one. Big piece of Star Atlas, underrated team member. If you ever had any issues, he was there to assist. He's always working hard on the background. So thank you, Brian, for giving our boy Darwin a shout out. He deserves
The
it.
Silent Night. Yes.
Silent legend of Star Atlas. So yeah, we have the quarterly tomorrow, guys. So make sure, sorry, the economic forum tomorrow, where we will be covering the quarterly report. So that's a huge one if you're taking part of the Star Atlas economy, if you hold Atlas, if you play Sage. Make sure to tune into that one. Those are super important events. Happens only once a month. So make sure to mark us interested and attend because that's an important one. Then another new is that we were going to do an AI brew this week, but we chose to do it next week. So we will be doing the AI brew next week. We'll have Jim from our AI team internally, and we'll be covering everything AI. What is Stratos working on when it comes to AI? What are the possible integrations that we're going to have? So that's another big one. So make sure to tune in to next week's brew. So we chat AI with everyone. And last but not least on the noteworthy news is that you can vote right now. You can vote right now for the next Star Atlas Council. Very important council. It's going to be 9 months. So this council will be there for the rest of 2025. And 2025 is one of the years with the most releases ever from Star Atlas. So the council needs to work very closely together with the Star Atlas team, with the community. So make sure you go and vote. Go and vote now. Super important. So with that said, I think we can transition to another segment, let's say, of the noteworthy news. We were
I feel like you
discussing in
missed
the
the biggest
chat.
one, bro. That we're migrating
Which
to
one?
Ethereum.
Oh, we're migrating to Ethereum as well,
Bro.
right?
Yeah, true.
True.
Faster transactions. Let's go, baby. Let's go, baby.
More scalable, cheaper.
We're half migrated to Ethereum, and then we're half migrated to Cardano. Just depends on the day, you know. You know,
It
fuck it.
depends
We're
on
gonna
how we
do
feel.
Polkadot too, and then XRP.
Polkadot. Awesome. Yeah. XRP. We're migrating to XRP. But yeah, some people fell for it. I saw some angry people in the comments.
Weakest April Fool's joke ever. True.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, we also got some feedback from people. I think it was Foundation Room chat or DAO chat. And people said, we want to hear more about the pips. We want to hear what's going on. So we're going to be adding a little segment in some brews where we cover some pip drafts, some pip ideas that the community is working on. And for that, we'll have one council member join to stage. So, Funcracker, my friends,
Good day, good day.
welcome.
Hello, hello.
What's going on, Ronald?
Did I put on my mic? Yes. There I am.
Let's go.
Hell yeah.
Good day, everybody. So yeah, I mean, what's going on? I mean, beyond, of course, the council elections, there's a few more days to go till the end of day of Sunday. Please do vote. 7 people in the race, and we need your vote to determine who's going to be on the council the next 9 months. But in addition to that, we have a bunch of pips that are in the pipeline, just going in the order of the newest edition that is on our radar to the latest state of the ones that are already in the draft phase. We have first donation to Sly Assistant, which is a new idea posted. which is about basically a one-time bonus to appreciate the Sly tool, the automation tool. Interesting note here: it's actually one of the first proposals that's from the community that seeks to use the STV process, which I particularly like to see myself. Then in drafts, we have two new ones. One is the creation of the DAO caster role, which is a proposal that is basically seeking to employ 5 content creators by the DAO that will be paid to, on a weekly basis, promote the game, promote the DAO. So very interesting one. Actually also seeking to use the STV procedure to elect these 5 individuals. Interesting one for sure. Then we have another one, which is about establishing a values list for the DAO, really to define our shared values to which the DAO and proposal should adhere. An interesting one, also a contentious one so far. Definitely join the discussion there. Then a little bit further, because I just now mentioned 2 new drafts, we have also a few drafts that already have been reviewed. One is an expansion of the Theo bot by the tool team, providing more integrations, including the knowledge base of the DAO that will be integrated. Another one is an in-person community meetups platform, which seeks to be basically an online website where community members can organize Star Atlas meetups and really organize them from A to Z. And then another one is term limits, implementing term limits for the Star Atlas Council. All 3 have been through one or multiple review phases already, so they're slowly getting there. And then there are 2 that are furthest along, which is actually, and that's all has a clear reason as well, because they're council created. One is the working groups, and the other one is the Iris Bounty, the feast. So the working groups is about basically putting people on a pedestal who want to officially rep the DAO when they are communicating with other third-party projects. And we want to give it a more official capacity. And the feast is actually what we also refer to as the fun fund, which is a separate fund, a slice carved out of the ecosystem fund, which we will be using to actually provide people with some funds if they want to host a meetup somewhere in the world. So it has a limit. I want to say it's up to $500 worth of Atlas. It will always be paid in Atlas. And yeah, if you have to supply, go through a form, etc. But hopefully this will encourage more people to organize Star Atlas meetups all around the world on a smaller scale, perhaps than the guys in Germany are doing at this point in time. But yeah, so I hope that was quick enough. But this is basically a summary of everything, a good chunk that's happening. There's more happening, but this is for sure, hopefully on people's radar.
Nice. Thank you so much for the updates, man. I think
Appreciate you,
some
Ronald.
of those have really high potential. I like
Yeah,
them.
sure.
yeah,
I like
interesting
them.
discussions for sure.
People are making big decisions with the treasury right now. So I mean, if you want to make sure that people don't do stupid things, you better get there. You better get your PvP in. You better vote. You better be part of that discussion because big decisions, big moves are being made right now. And I think it's awesome. I think it's awesome. First of all, that these discussions are happening now. I think we need as many people as possible in these discussions. So make sure if you guys are even somewhat interested in the future of the DAO, the future of Star Atlas, make sure you guys are being part of that discussion. And it's your duty as a Star Atlas community member almost. So make sure you get out there.
Cool.
Yep, join us.
Yeah. And I see that the Evi pip was retracted, Funcracker. I don't know if you have any details on that.
There's a lot of, as I mentioned, there's a lot that happened behind the scenes. Pips have gone through several iterations. Meanwhile, some were retracted, was a big one. I mean, the Sly one, it came actually later. First, we had the EVI funding pip. That was, I mean, some pips have sometimes a bit more controversial tidbits. Not that it's a problem. Like usually we can with the creator work around them in some capacity. But in this case, Rising Sun decided to retract the current pip and work on a new one by himself, which he will then publish at some later point in time. One thing that we actually agreed upon as a council, which will be added very shortly to the knowledge base, is that we will not allow pips to have recurring payouts that extend over a 1-year period. So not like I want to get monthly payment of a certain amount of money indefinitely, or up until a pip is going to pop up that cancels this. Just as again a safety mechanism. By the way, this was inspired in part by Rising Sun's proposal, but again, not necessarily an issue, of course, for him that he could not work around with. So that is not necessarily to do with the retraction itself, but just sharing it out here. Like we need to have some safeguards in place, and would like to have people just create a new pip for year 2, for example. So yeah, lots of stuff happening behind the scenes as well.
Yeah, makes sense. And I like that at least it's driving conversations forward, right? And
yes, for
creating
sure.
progress.
We had
As
a ton of
whole,
conversations last week. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. And also, I commented on the DAO chat, but I want to tell people who put up some of those pips to not get discouraged. Once you put out the pip, you will get under some review, let's say, and you are going to hear opinions that you probably don't like.
Look, if people are asking for money, which is kind of course, what every pip is doing at this point in time, that's our only mandate, then clearly you're going to get pushed back from people who don't like the idea or just don't want to spend the money, plus other feedback. But do observe that it's usually less than a handful of people giving that feedback, perhaps over and over, or going through a whole discussion together with other people. It doesn't necessarily represent the will of the DAO, of course, in any shape, form, or way, let alone the will of the council, if that would even play a role here. So don't feel like council gives official feedback. If you can incorporate that, we can always move on, right? And then you can just go to a vote and let the people decide. So yeah, don't be discouraged just by people, by naysayers of whatever. Yeah.
I second
That's
that.
what I wouldn't like to. That's what I wouldn't like to see, right? Like we are encouraging people to create pips, but then once they create a pip, people come very aggressive at them, and sometimes even a bit too much, I would say. And people that have been working on the ecosystem for free for a while then get cooked somehow and get discouraged, and that's exactly what we don't want to see. So to everyone out there engaging as well, keep in mind that we're all pushing towards the same objective, and don't be a jerk, for lack of a better word, to fellow community members.
Yeah, you need to have, unfortunately, you need to have some thick skin, which is a problem because we know some people are even shy or introvert, right? Not accustomed to this sort of stuff, like they just like to develop in silence in their basement or attic, or just in a nice bright living room, doesn't matter. But and they're not necessarily prepared for the onslaught that can follow. So please don't be discouraged. Just read the official stuff from the council, and clearly you can always take a hint from whatever people are saying, like the concrete useful part, if that resonates with you. And if not, then they're not, and you'll just move forward, and you'll see what the community will vote.
Yep, absolutely.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks for having me here. I guess I'll just leave you to it now, but yeah.
Feel free to stay if you
Appreciate
want.
you,
Feel free to stay.
Yeah, always a pleasure,
If you
friend.
want, we're going to be going over some feedback that we want
Linger.
from the community on things. And I think, Dom, you can kick it off if you want with the first topic for the State of the Community Brew.
Yeah, so State of the Community. State of the Community. This is the second one. Last one we did was actually, I think it was definitely last year. I'm spacing on the exact month, but I just sent
December,
someone.
I think it was.
Yeah. So we did it last year. So this is the second one. If you guys don't know what this is, basically what we want to do with this brew is get a full understanding of how you guys are feeling with basically everything that's going on with Star Atlas, UE5, Sage, fleet rentals, the economy, the community, the Discord, everything. So we want to hear what you guys have to say. And last time we did this, we got a lot of great feedback. A lot of people liked it, which was great. A lot of actionable feedback that we executed on. So I'm really excited for this. So hopefully you guys see the value in this. If you guys like it, let us know, and we can keep doing these. But we'll be going through all these different topics and then getting your thoughts and your feedback on all these different things. So the first thing we're going to be talking about, we have a list of products and topics that we want to talk about. The first thing we're going to talk about is Unreal Engine. So that's mostly talking about the Epic Game Store game. It's talking about Surge, gunplay, anything you can do in the Unreal Engine game. Kind of like our direction with it. So I want to talk about UE and get you guys' thoughts on that. So I guess my first couple questions, because I have a few questions for you guys. The first question that I'm going to ask you guys is, what do you guys think of the UE game currently? At this point, April 2nd, 2025, 11:21 a.m. in California. Where are you guys at with the UE game right now? How do you guys feel about it? And maybe if you don't want to give it like an exact opinion or like on something, maybe you want to give a 1 through 10 on how you're feeling. You can give a 1 through 10, totally up to you guys, and if you want to do it simply, do it simply. If you want to say something specific, do something specific. It's not full gameplay loops. Yeah, so an 8, a 10. Okay, so Bando, you have the first kind of sentence here, so I'll talk about that. It's not full gameplay loops, which is totally true, totally correct. But we do have, I guess, the one thing that I'm mostly excited about for this year is we're going to have our first gameplay loop, which is going to be gunplay modes with rewards and progression and stuff like that, and that's this year, which is really exciting. Actually, I'm not sure how many people are on Twitter, but I posted a tweet just showing off gunplay and the movement and stuff, and it kind of blew up, which was really cool. So a lot of people are really excited for it, which is awesome. We just have to get there. I know Chip has been working really hard on hit detection and networking and matchmaking, and Danny's been working on the progression side of things, so I'm really excited. I agree with you, by the way. UE has needed a full gameplay loops for a very, very long time. So I totally agree. Totally agree. So I'm missing a couple here. Brian said it looks cool, but not motivated to play right now. That kind of goes back to what we were saying. It's not really replayable yet, but that should be that. It's this year. What are we voting on, Signal? Nothing. You're not voting on anything. You're just giving your kind of opinion on this current topic. It's okay. It gets a bit boring. Yeah, I think the big thing is that right now I think it looks cool. It looks very pretty. And when we make updates, it's really cool because you get to try new things. But there's nothing really replayable that keeps you kind of coming back every day playing for like 8 hours a day. So like I'm with you guys on that. That should be fixed this year.
I think Benny's comment is very accurate, and a lot of people share it. That it's super fun, but maybe after 40 minutes, you don't know if you want to keep playing, right? Or maybe a couple sessions, and you don't know if you want to keep playing. But yeah, things like progression and all that should fix it, I think.
Yeah. And I'm spoiling things a bit here, but I'm not spoiling this, but we do have a roadmap update coming this month, and I talked with Danny, and he talked with me a lot about progression and what kind of that looks like. I don't want to get too into that because I have to keep it a little vague right now because we're saving some of the information. But as a gamer who likes playing these kind of games, it's pretty good. I will say it's very good. I think you guys will really enjoy the progression aspect, the rewards aspect. And then I'll spoil that there'll be like ties between Sage and UE5 as well. So yeah, so a lot of cool shit happening with the progression side.
Keep going.
A lot of cool shit happening with the progression side of things, which is awesome. Super, super sick. I totally hear you guys on replayability. You don't want to come back to play because there's no rewards, there's no progression. That's normal, by the way. Totally normal that you guys feel that way. So I think my headset might have just died, so I'll have to plug it in, but I can still speak. But Yeah, appreciate you guys. I'm gonna someone take over for just like 1 minute. Be right back. My headset died.
Oh man, the classic thing with these
It,
headsets. They
yes,
run out of
exactly.
battery at the worst moment. It always
But
happens
yes,
like that.
I think everyone's aligned here that one of the things everyone's most looking forward is for us to have a way to feel the progression, have repeatable gameplay loops, and add a layer of meaning to grinding and playing many matches, finding maybe loot or other things that make you feel you are progressing the game, right? This is
Yeah, yeah,
in animals, I
absolutely. I
guess.
think everybody agrees with that. And we
I
had
actually have a
a
dissenting voice, if I shortly may comment on that,
absolutely, yeah.
or different opinions. So I love progress for sure. So no mistake there. Agree. But I do think, looking also at people complaining about bots currently in Sage, bots on Marketplace, bots in rental, etc., that it's super crucial that before we get progression into Unreal Engine, we really need to have proper anti-cheat measures in place, and they probably need to be quite drastic because it will be fun for 1 month. And then people start doubting, hey, I think, is there a bot? And like with free rentals right now, people say, hey, there's bots here. People are botting this. And right, and then the whole thing goes downhill, down the drain really
Yeah.
fast. So I think it's really crucial we really first get the fundamentals right there before we consider, unless it's like a lightweight, smaller thing. But yeah, we're very careful about that.
hmm Yeah, it
Interesting
needs to
take.
be done carefully, for sure. For sure. I agree with that. I agree with that. And then we had a question about not the game itself, but about the frequency of
Cadence,
the
right?
updates that we've been shipping lately. You know that this year I think we've been shipping like one update per month or one every 1.5 months. Uh, Wanted to hear thoughts from people out here. Do you like this frequency, or would you prefer us to hold back for a couple of months and then release all at once with more progress? Do you prefer to engage in the new experiences earlier? How do you feel about that? Because before we used to hold a lot of the releases, right? And then
Yeah.
just do like a big boom maybe twice a year. But now it's like also because development started to compound on everything and makes it easier and faster to ship. So wanted to hear that. Quindar is saying more frequent updates are better. Mandalorian likes it. It's like most games that are popular. I like it. I like it.
Yeah, I
Fast cycle,
feel
it allows for a lot more feedback and long-term stability. Yes, much better. Helps with engagement as well. Yes. Keeps the
Okay.
community
What I
fed.
miss? Where we at?
We asked the question about the updates, the frequency. Yeah. People like the current pace. Nice. Falker says, love this brews becoming more like Town Hall mini releases. Yes. That's because things are starting to come together, right? Things are starting to
yeah.
come together and to make sense, and we can plug them into things that are already ongoing. And it's yeah, it's great. We're talking only UE5, Nebula. Only UE5 now. Only
We'll get
UE5.
there. You get there. We'll talk about
Yeah,
Sage.
we'll talk about Sage as well. Yes. Nice. And then one last question that we had about UE5 is what is something from the current gameplay experience that you believe really needs improvement in the UE5 game? What is something that you would like to see improved that you don't enjoy so much when you go in there and play? Signal says ship flight mechanics. Hitbox.
Hitbox. They're working on that one. I agree with that one. Ship flight mechanics. I'm interested to hearing more on what you mean by ship flight mechanics.
I made heart flies like a bloated whale.
Aiming, says Ahota.
I'm not gonna lie. What I will say about our gunplay is I think it's gonna be super skill intensive. I think I'm usually pretty against skill-based matchmaking, just because I haven't liked it as a gamer myself, but I feel like you kind of need it in Star Atlas because there's going to be such a wide range of skill because of the flying and how hard it's going to be to hit people if you're not as skilled. So I kind of understand what Ahota's saying if that's what he's talking about. I know. I don't like skill based matchmaking, and I still think it would be good for the game.
Mm-hmm.
This is my opinion, by the way. My opinion.
Yeah.
Feels all over the place. Ships used to fly like pregnant seals, and now the ones I've messed with, the sensitivity is super high. And the other end of the spectrum, a slight mouse move, I'm spinning. Okay.
Interesting.
I know they recently messed with some stuff. Moving a bit hard for bad players like me. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Yeah. So I think our movement in the game, like the movement mechanics in the game, is really fun. It's really exciting, and I think we have some of the best movement that I've seen in a game. I think it's our biggest unique selling point for gunplay, personally. But then you have the problem arises with like no offense, by the way, Bob, no offense, but players like you who are maybe on like the less skilled side of things.
Bob got cooked.
I'm not. No,
Oh,
he said it. He said it, bro. He said it, bro.
no.
He said it, bro. He said. I'm not coming at Bob. I love Bob.
Dominic, I think Bobby will wait for you on stage, bro. If he
Yeah,
can't take you on
he's gonna
in a
kick my
league,
ass, bro.
he's
He's
gonna
gonna
kick
kick
you
my
for
ass.
ass on
He's
stage,
gonna
bro.
kick my ass.
That's crazy.
I love it.
San asked, "Do we have any plans for at least a full map and competitive system in UE5? Just like C4 will come in the beta. Is there anything planned for UE5? What do you mean by full map? Where there's going to be full arena maps that are fully complete, like the maps that we have right now, like Gateway, Paisl's Arena. You guys recently saw Uru. Like those will be complete. Yeah. Sorry, Bob. Sorry,
So,
Bob.
Yeah.
Brian, would you rather wait before we release a map? Like you prefer to have it fully complete before we launch to test? This is interesting.
Oh, Brian is saying so. Brian, you don't like seeing it from like gray box phase to like details, and then it kind of continuously gets updated up until it's kind of finished, right?
Hmm.
Okay, interesting.
That's interesting.
I mean, that's fair. Honestly, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
More Easter eggs. Cool. I think
Easter eggs, yes.
I think UE5 is a pretty easy one of understanding where everyone's at. I think we all know we need progression. I think we all know we need replayable loops. And the lucky thing is that that's all happening this year. So that's great. So I think we're all pretty aligned on UE5. The team, the community. I think we're all pretty much in the same place here. I'm not hearing anything that I'm kind of shocked at
Surprising,
anyway,
yeah.
Yeah.
which is good.
Same. Yeah. Do you remember the Journey Easter egg? That was a pretty cool one when that was available. You could use Joni in the game. It was a cool one. Dedicated servers, option to host servers with custom rules. I think all that can happen. All that can happen. So yeah, I think we're aligned. I think we're aligned on UE. Should we move to Sage? Which I do believe
Yeah.
it can become a bit more spicy. Should we move to Sage? How does
Yeah.
everyone feel about Sage currently from 1 to 10? From 1 to 10, how do you feel about Sage? 11, Samsor. Smoother than ever gameplay. Ooh. 10, 8, 10, 10, 7, 9, 8. Oh, wow. 5, 7.5, 7, 8. That's interesting. That's interesting. Brian says 5 out of 10. Got a bit disconnected from the game after FICs came out. It's too easy. Wow. Wow. Lampchair Floor, the legend, shout out. 9. 9. Sage is bankrupting me, so 11. Wow. Nice. So I see a lot of positive feedback for Sage. I am,
Interesting. Yeah, I
eh,
expected worse grades. I won't lie.
but I saw some 5s out of 10. The people who put 5, why? What do you feel you're missing? What do you
Brian
feel you're
said,
missing?
I got a bit disconnected from the game after faction infrastructure contracts came out. It's just too easy now. I literally don't have to ever change anything. So the game became too easy for Brian, is what he's saying. So he just
That's what
became too.
happens for you when you're a spreadsheet nerd.
Oh, Earther, that's actually a good point. What would you guys think of Sage without Evi? I'm just curious. How would your rating change if you couldn't use Evi?
Bro.
Wow, it dropped. It dropped. 1 out of 10. 5. 1 out of 10. Wow.
Shout out Evi, man. Yo, tell him to make another pit.
Yeah.
Tell him to make that. Tell him to bring that pit back, man.
Yeah, take
Is that
away
what you guys are
SOI
saying?
and EY, 1 out of 10.
Crazy.
Yeah. What I saw, I think a common thing is like game design or the game itself. They all love it. UI, everybody hates it, which is good because we have things like fleet command in the works, right?
Yep.
I
Very
still think
nice.
that even my take is even with fleet command, people will still use EVI because you want the depth that a platform like EVI provides. Like even if you can
Yep.
see a pretty UI, you're going to want to know the depth, the stats, the simulations. So that's not going to change, in my opinion. But we may
And
have prettier UI.
I don't think that'll ever change, by the way. Like, even games like League of Legends, like, every time I play a League of Legends game, there are websites that tell you the best build to go, kind of the best way to do certain things. And that's with a game that's been around for 15 years, and it's the biggest game in the world. And so I definitely don't see that changing, especially with a game as in-depth as ours, with a real economy, with real money involved. Everyone's looking for the slightest edge, the little centimeter edge that they can grab every single time. I don't think there's any way Evi will not be a thing, or third party platforms and programs won't be a thing. I think those will always be a thing, to be honest.
That said, I see Agent Solace. I would imagine it would not be a bad thing to also try to accommodate the spreadsheet warriors a little bit more by perhaps hiding some of those more complicated, just statistical, numerical screens in the UI somewhere, right? It's not. Of course, there's some more advanced stuff that EVI is doing, but also a lot of just really breaking down core numbers and just showing them in a nice way, which I can imagine you could just unlock in the UI at some point as well. And then perhaps people still use EVI, but then only indeed for the more advanced stuff, and not so much just to get access to those numbers very easily, which they're now missing in the current UI.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot that we could do better in Sage from a UI perspective. It's just not really. It's just not what we're building right now. We're kind of we're moving on to the other things that we're building. So it's kind of. I'm just gonna say it's on the back burner. But this is why it's so good that we have community developers who build these things out. It's so important. It's so important. That's
Yeah.
why I was so on board with Rising Sun and his pip idea. The work that Sly, Adam, Evi, the work that these programs are doing is so ungodly important, especially with kind of the industry that we're in and how cutthroat it is and how we need to move. We need to keep building towards the future, and like it's all connected. We're all connected. So shout out to them. Yeah, but I agree we could do a lot better on the Sage UI front.
Yeah, but yeah, I some people pointed out in the chat like why don't you add EVI in game, for example? And I think that would be a bad thing to do really. Like, I'll prefer EVI and things like that to be like a separate ecosystem thing. Yes, we can do UI improvements. Yes, maybe automation could be better if it's in-game included for whenever we develop it further. But like things like deep analytics with EVI, I think they still need to be like in an ecosystem thing that is external to the team, so they can focus on what the community is saying. Internally, we don't have the bandwidth to maintain things like that. So let it be an ecosystem. That's my 2 cents, my 2 Atlas.
I agree
That's
with you
right.
100%, Santi.
What Arthur is
Yeah.
saying is right. Rising Sun updates instantly when he can. If it was automata control, it will be slower and more methodical. Absolutely. I do believe we move pretty fast at automata, but still, I think there's value in
Yeah,
that.
Yeah.
exactly.
Totally.
Correct. Yes. Cool. And then, what are people here looking forward to the most when it comes to Sage? What is it that you're looking forward to the most? C4? What specifically about C4? What
Yeah, which
specifically?
C? Which C, bro?
Yeah. C4
Combat claims,
combat
not
claims,
combat.
not combat.
Brian's a contrarian today. I like it. Combat is going to
Combat's
be a
going
shit
to be a
show.
shit show. Why? I want to know why.
Get him on stage. Brian,
Yeah,
come to
Brian.
stage, man.
Come on, bro. Tell me,
Come,
bro.
come
A
to
shit
stage,
show, bro.
Brian.
Council rank. Ooh, that's the first council.
Yo.
What's up, Brian?
Okay.
What's up?
So combat. We all have assets everywhere in this ecosystem. Like, at all the star bases. If combat just turns on one day and everyone just starts blowing up the star bases and we lose all of our shit, that's gonna be chaos. Like I've got 1.5 billion worth of carbon at MRZ20. If we don't implement this right, because Evi has like a 24-hour cooldown when they attack a starbase, so people can't just alpha strike it. So if team doesn't implement that, then you'll just see like Mud and Ooster alpha striking, Oni starbases or Oni and Mud alpha striking Ooster. So everything's gonna be dead in like a week. We'll have nothing. So I'm nervous. I think everyone else should be nervous too. And I've got massive fleets. Like I can pick on people that can't necessarily pick on me. So there could be griefing. So I think it has to be like, it's just really, I think it's going to be really hard. So team has to implement it really well. I think it's going to be a challenge and it's going to be this really fine balance. That's why I'm like, ooh,
No,
combat
no,
scares me.
no way you came to stage just to show you are scared of getting blown up. I'm joking.
No,
I'm
I
joking. I'm joking,
I
bro.
think for
I
the
agree.
same
I agree.
I think for the same reason where Brian might not like it because of all the chaos it'll bring. I think people want that chaos. The people
Yes,
want
this is part of the game, bro.
yeah,
This is
yeah.
literally part of
I'm
the game.
excited. I'm excited to see what the hell goes on.
I
But
mean,
I
of
agree.
course, Brian. It's not going to be like that. We are here on the brew, and then Michael Wagner turns on the combat, and then we go, oh, by the way, combat is live.
Combat's
Get
online.
ready, and then
Get ready.
But just to be
get
clear,
ready, bro.
I'm not actually worried for my assets. I'm worried for the game because people don't like getting blown up, right? Like they accidentally leave their freighter on for 12 hours and burn 12 hours of fuel and the world's fucking over. Just imagine if like everyone just starts losing all their stuff, like the economic engine.
Yeah, but
Imagine
I
how
I
the
mean,
agree.
Discord will be. The Discord is going to be a crazy place.
We could barely handle PvP when it came to like trading, right? With LP, when we were stealing each other's LP without even direct combat, like that was
Oh
like
man.
4 months
that's
of
insane.
chaos. It was the Bodhi Wars, Brian versus Bodhi. Just imagine when we can actually blow people up.
Dude,
Oh man.
I think it's gonna get crazy. I
I
already
think
know
it's
it's gonna
going to
get
be actually
crazy.
lots of fun, man. To be honest,
It's gonna
I
be a lot
I
of fun for us watching. I mean, we're still gonna be
no, I
participating,
mean,
but
I
I
will be
feel like
participating. I have fleets.
man, I could see people making an enemy out of people, and then people are like griefing other people, and then other people are targeting, like just hard targeting someone and making their life hell. Like, yeah, there's gonna be a lot. There's gonna be a lot there, to be honest.
I think everyone will start being more strategic. I think that's one effect
Yeah.
that everything instantaneously is going to happen. Like, and then I think Brian, what's it's going to be a great social experiment actually. But in my opinion, what's going to happen is that everyone will be a lot more cautious when attacking someone because you know that the moment that you make enemies, other people will come back after you the second that they have an opportunity. So it's like the real world to some instance, like you know that shit can't hit the fan too hard because otherwise everyone's going to lose. So I don't think it's going to be apocalyptic as you are thinking. I think it's going to be like more frontiers battles, etc. But I don't think people will be like making their life goals to just destroy your or a given player economy. Like I think it's going to be more I don't know, more strategic. That's my feeling. My feeling. Everyone is free to. Yeah, and it's not even high risk zone. I mean, it's just the medium zone. What's going to happen is that you lose 1 billion fuel, life move on.
2 comments. I already have a shitload of enemies, so I don't need to. I won't be making more.
That's true. That's true.
And okay, I'm gonna give out shout out to Rising Sun because he was talking about making a kill board for combat. And if you guys aren't familiar with Evi has whenever you fight somebody in space, if you get a kill, it sends like this really long text message to your mailbox. Their kill boards take that like kill message. It has all the loot that was destroyed, the value of the loot, and it puts it on this kill board, like a website that lists who killed who. So you have all of the history of every combat you've ever been in, and it like will track the value destroyed. So you'd be like, oh, I destroyed $5,000, and not only that, so you have leaderboards, you have guild killed boards, and it's really juicy, like for like Twitter and for news, because like you have one big battle, it'll like do battles.
You'll make the
and be
news.
like,
Yes.
yeah, you'll make the news like we just destroyed $100,000. So that's fucking awesome. I think that will be huge for content. And let's give a shout out to Rising Sun for maybe building that because we're gonna need it and it's gonna be fucking awesome. Excuse my language.
That's
Yeah,
Early
man.
shout out. Early shout out for a feature that
Thank
we
you,
don't know
bro.
if it will exist.
I think we need some voting here. Like, what you guys feel? Should we go full chaos, like, or should we have like we go slowly, try to test stuff first? I want to hear people's opinion.
I'll make a poll for you to say.
Thank you, bro.
That's hilarious. Oh my god, that's
That's
hilarious.
hilarious. Yes.
Yeah, I think it's going to be pure and utter chaos. Like, I think it's going to be probably too much levels of chaos for the first like week, and then eventually people are going to adapt their strategies, and maybe if they're not in a guild, they'll join a guild, and then they'll adapt what they're doing, and then everyone will kind of understand what's going on, and then they'll do things that they want to do. But I think for the first week, it's going to be a fucking movie. It's going to be a movie. Oh my gosh.
You guys changed my mind. I'm actually excited for it now. I'm like,
Let's
okay, fuck it.
go.
Let's go.
Oh,
Let's
hell
go.
yeah.
Like,
Hell yeah.
you want it? Bring it. Bring it. Bring it. That's what I like, man.
But
That's
yeah.
what I like. That's what I
Oh,
like.
man. That's
Man,
hilarious.
everyone wants combat until combat comes and they are all flying back to the CSS.
Exactly. Everyone's scared.
People will be like, "Oh, I'm gonna come kill all your miners," like in MRZ, and I'm like, "Motherfucker, I want to be sitting in the CSS mining hydrogen."
Let me mind my hydro. Yeah.
Where's the Council of Peace to protect us? This is going to be
Oh,
fun.
that's hilarious.
That's going to be Benny.
That's going to
Dude,
be Benny.
Yeah, praying for the
Council of Peace
cosmic
to help
prince to
him.
save him. Yeah. But yeah, another topic. We have a couple of more things. We wanted to chat about fleet rentals as well. So First of all, as always, how do you like fleet rentals on a scale from 1 to 10? Put it in the chat. Are you enjoying it? Are you using fleet rentals? Is it a 10 out of 10? Is it a 0? How are you guys feeling about the product?
Yeah, actually pretty pumped on fleet rentals. It was a lot more successful than I thought it was going to be, which is awesome. Super cool.
Nice.
Nice.
I think you guys made a mistake by taking the search out before the filters were in, because a lot of people were using search.
Search. Okay. So this is great. Seriously, any feedback that you guys have for any of this, we'll write it down and give it to the team. So
Because people were using
Good.
eBuy to like analyze all the good deals, and they were going in and searching for the fleet name. Now you have to like scroll through, and honestly, scrolling through that list is painful.
Painful.
Like I don't want to
yeah.
do it. I haven't been back
Mm.
since because
This
they
is
have to
great
load.
feedback.
They have to load, and
Yeah.
the price has to load, and you're like scrolling. Like
Nice. Nice.
but filter's great,
Yeah,
but if it's not ready, give the search back.
okay. I think that can be done. We'll send this over to the engineers. I see. Well, filter option is a request. We already have that written down. I also see private rentals. Private rentals is a risky one. Everybody will be renting out for one Atlas and then paying escrow or whatever. Like, if we do private rentals, then no revenue, no fees, nothing will be.
The DAO gets
It will
wrecked.
be
Automata gets wrecked. Ecosystem gets wrecked.
yeah. Yes.
Pay your
yes.
share.
that is
Help
true.
finance the future
Yeah,
of
yeah.
Galia.
That is true. Very true.
DAC rentals. DAC rentals could be a thing. Could be a thing. I still see OTC happening with DAC rentals, but
Yeah.
Could be abused, right, for the exact same thing, of course.
Yeah,
To make a
exactly.
deck with another person.
that's
So
something.
Yeah, we've already seen that. You know, I mean, no shame. I mean, do what you guys got to do. I mean, this is a financial game, but I mean, we've already seen that people will circumvent the system to loan out things for cheaper prices. That's just something you guys will do without a shadow of a doubt.
Oh,
so,
you will. Oh,
yeah,
you will.
and so
Yes.
we do, like, as a company, we have to fund the game. We have to fund development. So sometimes we have to make decisions based off that.
That's Signal is bringing up a valid point. I think fleet rentals has been great for existing users and for people who used to own ships, but it's not fulfilling the need to onboard new players. So if you're a new player, there's no way you get onboarded currently via fleet rentals. Like no way right now.
as expected, right? I mean, to be honest, I think most people expected that.
All the good deals are scooped by the active players, which is great. Like we have huge demand. It's pretty cool to see, right? But yeah, it's
You
not
know
the actual
what?
problem.
It's a
You know
great
who
thing.
didn't expect that was, when Michael Wagner wanted to, release more inventory, and everyone said no. And this is what happened. We don't have enough for new players. So I'm going to give a shout out to Michael Wagner for thinking ahead.
No, that has
Yeah.
nothing to do with each other.
No, it does. If ships
Nothing
released,
whatsoever, Brian.
we would have more
If there would
supply.
be more on the market, would be more rented. People would lose income like crazy if they would not be renting because there's a huge amount of ships out there.
Well, it
And
depends
new
on how many
people
ships. Depends on
will
how many
be
ships
too
out
late.
there. It would
It
probably
can be
depend on how
balanced.
many ships. Yeah, it would have to be balanced. I think if you think in terms of like every on the market ship being leased out, no. I think it would have to be balanced. I think it would 100% have to be balanced. I think you guys are both probably right on
The
that
thing
one,
is, if
to
you
be
have a
honest.
fleet, right, somebody who's experienced and potentially has a lot of other fleets can make better use of it and can squeeze more value out of it than a new player. So it's always losing proposition. Like if there's a fleet, like at some point, right, people are looking for the equilibrium where they can make the most money, and the people who are more experienced can still make money. Even if it's a 1% profit, it's profit. If they automate the rest, then why not? So new players, they can't do that. New players need to really start at the beginning. They would lose money because they need to be educated first, and there's a lot to be educated on. So no, if you would drop in 1,000 additional fleets at a good price, they will be gone in a second. Like they can be used by Brian even, because why not? Brian's automating anything. Brian can literally just scale up. If the fleets are the right ones, he can just literally put in more fleets and just go. So yeah, new
But
players,
the-
I don't think it happened that way. No.
What if you swap the rentals to USDC and gave it straight to Automata? Then those fleets could just fund the game for another, 5 years. If everyone really did snap them up, that could be a huge.
Sure, that's a different that's a different argument. I mean, for new players, not so much. For that, yes, for sure.
I will also say, like,
And-
a perk of the like insane demand for these fleets and fleet rentals. I think a perk of this is also you could go out and be like, if you're a ship owner and you don't want to like learn how to play Sage, because it's not a secret that Sage is pretty complicated. If you don't want to go out and do that, you can still earn Atlas by loaning out your ships, and you have a pretty fair bit of confidence that your ships will be rented out as long as you don't put it for an appalling price. You know, as long as you put it for something reasonable, it probably will get rented out, which is I think is pretty good guarantees for people who want to get ships. So
Mhm. And what is another thing that should be added to fleet rentals? We already will be adding probably the search back. Knowing this, is there any other feature request that you guys feel like it's super important that will go a long way for fleet rentals so we can send this feedback over to the team? Any other pressing stuff?
Despite the issues with the dock, I mean, it is kind of crucial. Like, if we could have that, people would be so much happier with the system in our guild. Clearly biased here, but I can imagine other guilds the same would go. People would love to give different prices, not the one, of course, but just better prices, right? Better deals to their friends. Yeah. So,
yeah,
but I understand it needs perhaps more work and more consideration. Yeah, but we're highly
it
anticipating
sucks.
that feature.
Yeah, that does suck, right? That does suck because you do want to be able to lend it out to your deck. You do want to be able to lend it out to your friends for like cheaper prices. Like that is totally reasonable, by the way. If like my friend was playing Star Atlas, I would loan him my Pierce F4, not for a bunch of money. I probably would just do it for like 100 Atlas or like not even like 100 Atlas, probably like an Atlas a day or something like that. You know, like I would just let him like use it for a week. So like I think there are people who would use it honestly and for correct reasons, but I think the fact that people wouldn't, it does require more consideration with how that looks, and I don't know. It's a complex problem. That one's actually pretty complex. That one's pretty complex.
Agreed.
one is
And the
pretty
private
complex.
one, if we could do it one-on-one, then we could actually within our duck actually designate specific fleets for new players. Right? Yeah, it just in a different workaround way, but
Yeah.
would make that possible. So it's a what do you call this? Two-edged sword? No, something like that. I think
Double-edged sword.
Double-edged.
Double-edged sword.
double-edged. Thank you. Yeah, great abuse
Yeah.
potential, but can also fix a few things.
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea. Like, because if we're onboarding our friends, we could lend them our fleets. Like, that is a pretty cool idea. Like, I got a buddy, he likes to play RuneScape, and he grinds like 8 hours a day. I could be like, hey, come rent fleets from me, and make a bunch of money instead of grinding on RuneScape.
Exactly right.
But
I mean, we get
but
free
it
to
comes-
play, but this is still the real deal, of course. So
But it just comes down to that fee issue, right? Like we've been dealing with it with local markets. I'm surprised that
Yeah.
Chris hasn't cooked something up yet. Maybe that's a good question for tomorrow. Like, why don't we have, VWAP based rental fees or VWAP based local market fees or something like that? 7-day trailing market price. Like, it's been a while. Like, we were talking to Chris about it like in November. I understand. Well, they're building other things. That's the real answer. You guys are cooking on so many different other levels, and you have to
Yeah.
prioritize. I like to see that prioritize a little bit higher.
Cool. I love the feedback. Love the feedback. We'll share this with the team. And one last thing that we wanted to chat about here is about community. We want feedback on the community side of things. How do you guys feel at the Stratos community on a scale from 1 to 10? Do you enjoy being part of the community? That will be a 10. Do you have a bad time here? Do you think everyone sucks? That will be a 0. It's a sample bias for sure, I think, here. But yeah. When market goes down, it's
Goes
sad. When
down, it's
market
sad.
goes up, I think that changed. I think that changed lately, and we were discussing it internally as well, like between us. Um, I think people just understand now that there are things that are outside of our control. Some of the things, and they understand that wider market action is going to affect us as well. But people are still here for the long run, and I just don't see the capitulation that we used to see before when market prices used to go down, or the super negative sentiment that happened before. So yeah, it's
Great.
it's interesting to see. And do you guys, another question is, do you guys feel that Discord experience can be improved? Is there anything we should change or do that you see in other Discords, or that you believe that we could be doing better in our Discord here? Anything you would like to see? Discord RPG game.
Yeah, that's on me. Working on that.
Yeah.
Giveaways in the
Giveaways in
brews.
the brews. True. We should do that. We should do
Bring
that.
back the marble
Reward.
racing.
Yeah, we should add giveaways to the brews. True.
Marble racing. Should we bring back marble racing? How? We're about to bring back marble racing, baby.
Yeah.
Marbles, baby. That was
Oh,
actually super fun.
NDR is saying sometimes a lot of talks are going on. Maybe AI supported summaries. I think some people are working on that, NDR, on AI summaries for the Discord. I've
See you, Ronald.
heard.
Appreciate you coming on, brother.
See you, Ronald, man. I've heard
Goodbye,
that some
folks.
people are working on AI summaries for what happens in the chats. So
Yeah.
I think we'll see that soon.
Ronald's gonna
Shout
have to
out to
come
the
back
mods.
because Drum and I
Very
are still
fair.
here.
What's that, Brian? You have to leave?
No, I said that Ronald's gonna have to come back because Drum and I are still here. There's no one gonna be in the meeting.
The council is here. Who's he going to meet with?
Another thing,
Wait,
I'm pretty. Sorry, go first, Santi.
no, you go for it.
I was just gonna say what I'm really interested in. So, like a big focus for us in 2025. You guys have probably already heard me talk about it. Was events and making events more exciting, and having more guests, just having more impactful Atlas brews, just more impactful events, making it more exciting. What do you guys think about the events so far in 2025? If you guys want to maybe do 1 through 10 for that, I'd appreciate it. And if you guys think that they could be improved some way, shoot it our way, because like I said, that is bring back community week.
Yeah.
That is happening. That is happening this year.
Community week is happening this year.
We're planning it.
But events is everything. So Econ Forum, Atlas Brew, town halls. There's a lot going on now. Want to hear that? Like, do you guys feel we should add more? We should host them in a different way? Any feedback on the events, or do you feel good about it? We need guild events. That's
Guild
interesting.
events. Mm-hmm. That is pretty interesting. Yeah, right now I would say I'm pretty happy with our direction of events right now. I feel like our events have became a lot more entertaining, a lot more quality, which is great. I like the amount of events that we have and the different events for people. So I'm pretty stoked on it. I don't see any bad things being said, so I think you guys feel the same way. Dom took his sock off the door. That leveled us up. True. Very true. True.
I think people like the events. This is great.
Very cool.
More cross pollination with the X, exposing more people to the Discord. I agree, Signal, with that. Yes. When impact, we'll see if impact happens. We still have to see Even if it's worth it to spend money on it, we will see.
True, those events cost a lot of money. I
Still
want
not
to
defined.
shoot Dom. Why me? Why
Wait,
me?
what?
Arthur said I want to shoot Dom. Jesus. Or anyone. Nice edit, bro. I know, Arthur. I know.
In Unify, clarification in Unify.
In game, in game, in game. I'm just kidding, brother. I know what
In
you're
game,
talking
in game.
about. I know.
Star Atlas marketing campaign on X with promos for newbies. That'll be cool. Yeah, yeah. All right. I think that covers everything we had for today. We had to skip a couple topics, so we'll probably do a part 3, I think, for State of the Community. We want to host this at least once per quarter, just to hear how everyone is feeling. But I'm happy that we got all this feedback. We have a lot of actionable items to share the feedback on fleet rentals with the team and everything else. So thank you guys. Thank you so much for all the feedback from today. Really appreciate you.
Some
Anything,
Cooper
Dom,
Canyon,
Jose?
Just
go for it,
on,
Jose. I'm waiting for you, bro.
okay, bro. No, just I was going to say it was lots of fun. Actually, I was super aligned with all the impressions that you guys had. Overall, I think the team follows the same line of reasoning that you guys shared with us today. It's good to see we are all aligned, and it was super valid feedback that we are going to bring back to the team. So yeah, great, bro. Thank you for being here with us and providing feedback.
Go to the Ecom forum tomorrow.
Yeah, he comes for tomorrow. Yeah, I'll just I'll echo what Jose said. Appreciate you guys coming in. Like these kind of events are super important because it allows us to have a better understanding of where you guys are at. And the great thing is I think we're all in the same understanding of where we want certain things to be and where we're going, which is awesome. So that's great. That's great reassurance there. Yeah, that's really it. Hope you guys have a good rest of your week and appreciate you guys coming out and talking with us.
We'll talk about AI in the next brew. So tune in next Wednesday, guys. We'll see you soon. And shout out to all our moderators and shout out to Darwin as well. Legends.
Legends.
Shout out. Shout out. All right. See you guys.
Thank you, guys. Bye.